You connected or not? Yep. Yeah. It can't seem to find the stream. I'm really upset. Mm. That's not what I want. Where are you? For some reason. There we go. Okay. Are we here? I think it finally connected because it wasn't showing on my end. Okay. Can you tell that there's rust? Like, a lot of rust? Well, that's okay. It's been a while. 10,000 years. He remembers his password. I know the password. I wrote it down. Audio isn't that great. How about now? Is it better? Adjusting gain a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. How about now? Sound through the mic. How about now? Does it sound any better? Man, it has been so long. Better but crusty. Interesting. I wonder if it's Nehemic messing with settings again. Is it connected to the webcam? No, it says that it's the snowball mic that's connected. Are we back? Now it says it's downmixed to mono. It's way better? Okay. Sounds just fine now. Okay. That's weird. Sounds perfect. Excellent. Okay. No. hope I can trim this in post so that the people viewing later don't get all the rust. But I think I'm going to open up. I'm doing things a little bit differently. So, as you can see, this isn't just the Flaming Eternity cards. We also got the promos from, what is this? The Shonen Jump Championship, Structure Deck 1, 2. There's actually 3 and 4 at the bottom. The Jump promo, and then the 3 cards from the World Championship 2005. And Toon Gemini Elf is from the Duelist League set. I'm not sure if the Duelist League cards were in North America. I think they might have been Europe only. But I'm ready. It's been quite a long time. I'm going to do the final bit of catch-up and talk about some of the older sets before we get to Flaming Eternity. And going forward, I'm just going to cover cards after the booster and focus on the main booster. So from late 2003 to 2005, I think this is right at the end of... I have a title card. Yeah, it's very end of 2004, up through, I guess, Q1 of 2005. Let's catch up and relish the moment. Dijon mustard. Delightful. Okay, let's start. Starting off with Toon Gemini Elf, level 4. Earth attribute, spellcaster, Toon effect. Cannot attack the turn it's summoned. If Toon World is on the field, or if Toon World on the field is destroyed, destroy this card. While you control Toon World and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, this card can attack your opponent's life points directly. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. 1900 attack, 900 defense. Those are the Gemini Elf stats. This card is really dirty in the World Championships 2004. It doesn't read this way, but you don't need to control Toon World for this card to be on the field. You can get it out on the field and then it has Summoning Sickness for a turn. But during subsequent turns, when you can attack, if you get in for damage, this is Danzalug with more attack points. If you're playing tunes, contemporary tunes at the time, this is a very strong card. I don't like it, though. I've been testing some GOAT format tune decks, and I avoid Toon Gemini Elf just because I feel it's too dirty. I don't know. Either gimmick or acceptable in archetype, I'm not sure. I guess good on release could be fair too. I'm not sure. We'll put it here for now. It's not a bad tune. It's a pretty good tune. I just don't like the way it feels. Loki OP. Dirty like bad or dirty like this is toxic. I don't like hand disruption. I think that it's not good for the game. I think cards in my hand are a resource they shouldn't be able to remove. It just feels really wrong. If you've ever gone up against Delinquent Duo, man, it just hurts. Or anytime your opponent has an opening, they have the Rhoda, they pull out the Danzalug, and they're ripping cards out of your hand, and it just is really sad every time. Because in GOAT format, there's not a lot of card advantage, and every card really counts. So I'm going to say, hey, it's not a design mistake, but personally, I have something against it. Trap Dust Shoot. Oh man, there's so many different cards in GOAT format that are really dirty. Delinquent Duo's number 1 though. Next up, another GOAT format card. We have Cyberstein. Dark Attribute, level 2, machine, effect. You can pay 5,000 life points, special summon one fusion monster from your extra deck in attack position. 700 attack, 500 defense. This card has had errata, but it's just to make sure that it's a fusion monster from the extra deck. It used to be called the fusion deck. I'm not counting that as effect changing errata. It's also had archetype inclusion text errata. This is not a cyber card, so you can't use it in your Cyber Dragon deck as a cyber card. I don't know if that ever comes up. I know Mechasaurus or Cybersaurus is the TCG name. It being a level 5 machine actually does matter in cyber decks, but I'm not sure if Cyberstein does. This card is really, really strong. This was a Shonen Jump Championship card, so if you had it, I'm thinking that this isn't necessarily true, but because it had limited distribution until, Dark Beginnings 1? This card had a little bit slow adoption, but it was possibly the strongest card in the game. It is a 1-card OTK enabler. I know you need to get past your opponent's field, but just the sheer amount of damage that you can put on board with this. And in the current game, the fact that you can have all sorts of degenerate strategies with this card, turn it into a psychic with, there's a lot of different ways. What is it? Scroll of Bewitchment, I think is one of the ones. And then you have the brain control, and then you just special summon everything out of your extra deck for free. I don't know if it's a design mistake. It was meta-defining for quite some time. It was banned for even longer. I think it might even be worth considering today. It is a win condition. I don't know. Can't not be on the top of the list, yeah? Easiest design mistake in any of these streams, I think. Ooh, a little spicy. I can see it being a design mistake. I think that's fair. I think since it is still legal, maybe you consider it. Its heyday is long past, though. Still banned for a reason. Am I confused? Oh, it is banned in the TCG. Oh. I forgot. I thought it got unbanned at one point, and then it got rebanned. I just forgot, I guess. It's been a while. I think it's staying up there as design mistake. Very fair evaluation. Next up, Red Eyes Darkness Dragon. Dark attribute, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that 8? 9? What? Why is it level 9? Dragon effect, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by tributing 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon. Gains 300 attack for each dragon monster in the graveyard. Oh, in your graveyard. I don't know why I thought it was Dark Paladin, where it works on both. 2400 attack, 2000 defense. Way too hard to get out. I think all the structure decks have the same problem, where they gotta have a nice boss monster to put on the art for the box, and they're just way too difficult to actually get out. I don't think, even if you were playing a Red Eyes deck, which is already not a good idea, you wouldn't even want to summon this. It's just too many resources. Got comparison, Buster Blader is way better than this card, I agree. Buster Blader gets more attack too. It's at least it's easier to summon than Blue Eyes Ultimate. I guess. I mean, we had Cyberstein, so I think very bad's fair. It's just not worth the resources. Next up, Vampire Genesis. This is the vampire... what is it? Zombie Madness, I think is the name of the set. Vampire Genesis, Dark, level 8, Zombie Effect, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by banishing one Vampire Lord you control and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn, you can discard one zombie-type monster to the graveyard, then target one zombie monster in your graveyard that has a level less than the discarded zombie-type monsters. Special summon that target. 3,000 attack, 2,100 defense. Exact same problems as Red Eyes Darkness Dragon. There is a little bit of a benefit that with Vampire Genesis, at least it has synergy with the deck. It's not just a big monster with attack points. I mean, it is a big monster. It's got Blue Eyes, White Dragon, 3,000 attack, but it's just not worth it. Even when you get the combo off, there's Card of Safe Return in the Zombie Madness deck. I don't think it's worth playing Vampire Genesis. You also have some anti-synergy with the card, because it banishes Vampire Lord. It doesn't send it to the graveyard. Because if it sent it to the graveyard, then you'd have another zombie that you could revive, and you could instantly start getting the ball rolling, but this way it requires a little bit too much setup. It's definitely better than Red Eyes Darkness Dragon, but I don't think you should play it. It's really cool. I like the idea of it. Arguably worse than the Vampire Lord due to the lack of the revival effect. I can see that. If you sacrificed Vampire Lord rather than banishing it, would it make it playable? Possibly. It'd make it better. Zombies have a very specific playstyle, and this almost plays into it. I'm a little disappointed, but the Zombie Madness structure deck was really strong for its time. Next up, Archfiend of Gilfer. Dark Attribute, level 6, Fiend, effect. When this card is sent to the graveyard, so that's from anywhere, you can discard it, you can send it from hand, you can mill it, you can detach it from material, it's anywhere. You can target one face-up monster on the field, equip this card to that target, that monster loses 500 attack while equipped with this card. 2,200 attack, 2,500 defense. I feel like there might be a super niche use for this, but I don't know where. Where you want to benefit from equipping your monster, or equipping your opponent's monster so it has an equip card. Or maybe you want it on board? I don't know. It's just one of those effects where it triggers from anywhere, so it sounds like it's useful, but its actual impact is very marginal. I guess you could send it from anywhere and then pop it with something like Scrap Dragon for Scrap Dragon ammo. Or, what is it? Shrine of Dragon Souls is another one. There's some things that you can do with it, but I just can't figure out what to do with it. It's also an Archfiend, so in an Archfiend deck, it could possibly work with Pandemonium. I don't know. I think it's a little silly. Would it enable Falling Down if it's in the Spell and Trap card zone? Yes. I think Falling Down just requires an Archfiend card, so it actually works with Acts of Despair. Could double check though. Okay, exact text. Activate this card by targeting an opponent's monster, equip this card to it, take control of it, destroy this card unless you control an Archfiend card. So yeah, it works from the Spell and Trap card zone. This also means that Archfiend's Oath will work, or Acts of Despair, as I mentioned earlier. So, I don't know. Is there a niche application? for Archfiend of Guilford? Maybe. I feel like it's one of those cards like Sword of the Deep-Seated, where it's just going to pop up somewhere as some part of a combo. But maybe later. Interesting note, Silent Swordsman level 7 is released before Silent Swordsman level 5. So this card is unplayable at the time of release. I think that's funny. But this is one of the reasons why I'm lumping in a few of the minor release cards all at the same time. Silent Swordsman level 5 is in the set. It's, in a little bit. But we're going to assume that you can play it. They're released roughly at the same time, so. Silent Swordsman level 7, Light Attribute level 7, Warrior Effect, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by Silent Swordsman level 5, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Negate all spell effects on the field. 2800 attack, 1000 defense. This is some hoops. And is it worth jumping through? I don't know. Spell Canceller's in the game, but Spell Canceller's also a little bit weak. Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8, I believe, just negates your opponent's spell cards, which is significantly better. Is it worth the investment? I don't think so. Is it cool? Yeah. I just think it's outclassed by the two spell negators we have. That card reads fun, but when you can... But it's a when you can. So can be annoying to use depending on your intentions. Oh. I didn't even see that on Archfiend of Guilford. It's a win. That changes things. That means there's a whole bunch of times when Archfiend of Guilford will miss the timing. Oh, that sucks. That's really sad. Mom, can we have Horus the Black Flame Dragon? We have Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8 at home. Horus at home. For Silent Swordsman. Next up, Kaiba Man. Light Attribute, level 3, Warrior, Effect. You contribute this card, special summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand. 200 attack, 700 defense. Really low stats, but you just tribute it on field. It doesn't really matter. This is a Rhoda target. Why? Are you running Reinforcement of the Army just to bring out Kaiba Man in your Blue Eyes deck? I guess. This card later gets outclassed by Maiden with Eyes of Blue and Sage with Eyes of Blue and pretty much everything with Eyes of Blue. I just can't see a use for it even within the dedicated Blue Eyes decks. It's a cool card. I love the reference. It's one of the few cards that I can think of in the game that has a Yu-Gi-Oh card in it. I take that back. There are a good amount of draw cards that do. But in terms of like a character holding a card. Loki thought that Kaiba Man was a spellcaster. I was surprised too. It's a warrior. Most importantly, Kaiba Man does let you aura farm at locals till you go 0 and 4. Yeah. It's not bad, though. Next up, Mind Control. Normal spell. Take control of one monster in your opponent's side of the field until the end phase. This monster cannot declare an attack or be tributed. It doesn't say anything about synchro or link or overlay, or there's a lot of stuff that you can still do with Mind Control active. I think this card is in a really weird place, where for a long time this was your only option. But now we have Brain Control back, but Brain Control's also been nerfed. We have Change of Heart back. It's not future-proofed. And it is a really good card in certain formats. But I don't know if you play it today. I think it's just going to go to meta at one point. It's just not quite there. I mean, people are barely playing your one copy of Change of Heart. Are you really going to be playing Mind Control? And that is it for... Oop, that's the title card. And that is it for our catch-up cards. Let's regroup. Okay, on to Flaming Eternity. First up, we have Space Mambo. Water attribute, level 4, Fish. A space mambo floating in the vast universe. This living relic was found in the ruins of a super civilization on Alphard 4. 1700 attack, 1000 defense. And we all know that this card... Maybe we don't all know. This card is a reference to Konami's arcade games. I can't remember if it's from Gradius or from Parodius. It's from one of the two. And I think that's the only notable thing about the card. It's outclassed by 7 Color Fish, Sea Serpent Warrior of Darkness. There's a whole bunch of cards that I can think of that are better than this. Abyss Soldier. You get a decent effect on Abyss Soldier. I'm wondering if there is a niche use out there with Rescue Rabbit or something. But you got other options with more attack. A funny card, though. It might sneak into some combo just because of the way it looks. But that doesn't make it good. Next up, Divine Dragon Ragnarok. Light attribute, level 4, Dragon. A legendary dragon sent by the gods as their instrument. Legend says that if provoked, the whole world will sink beneath the sea. 1500 attack, 1000 defense. I think it's... I guess you can bring it out with Shining Angel. There is a little bit of synergy with Lord of D. I'm not sure if it's in this set, but there is a fusion monster. This is fusion material. Not very good, though. Next up, Chusuke the Mouse Fighter. Earth attribute, level 3, Beast. A fiery mouse, traveling the world to become the strongest fighter in the world of mice. Be careful not to touch him, or you will get burned. 1200 attack, 0 defense. I mean, the stats aren't that bad. This card will get a legacy archetype within the decade. I think Chusuke the Mouse Fighter is already in an archetype. It's in the Monk archetype, I believe. Where it's this card and Monk Fighter and Master Monk, I believe, are they in this set or the next one? I believe they're in the Lost Millennium. King Dragoon was basically Red Eye's Darkness Metal before Red Eye's Darkness Metal. I can agree with that. You can use this with Rescue Hedgehog, Rescue Rabbit. Is there a combo that needs a level 3 Earth Beast normal monster? Maybe. I'm just going to put it in bad for now. You never know about normal monsters. Occasionally they crop up in the weirdest places because they have super niche interactions. Next up, Insect Knight. Earth attribute, level 4, Insect. Of all insect fighters, he is the paragon of the indestructible insect invaders. That sounds like an archetype, which only the elite of the elite can join. We can no longer ignore their unmatched battle prowess. 1900 attack, 1500 defense. And it had a pretty decent application. This is the card that you use with advanced ritual art. And you bring out Demise King of Armageddon, send 2 of these to the graveyard, bring out Doomdozer, Megamorph your Doomdozer, and then you OTK. So it had a meta application at the time. It's pretty good. As recently as Giant Ballpark. Interesting. This was one of the 4 to 6 targets with Shiny Black Sea. Ooh. I like that. I can't believe Killer Needle is in Giant Ballpark, but oof. Normal monsters are cropping up every now and then. Next up, Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. Fire attribute, level 8. I am so disappointed by it being level 8. I wish it were level 7 so bad, because if it were level 7, then you could use Ninjutsu Art of Transformation on a level 4, bring it out with that. If it gets destroyed by the Ninjutsu Art of Transformation, it triggers its revival effect, and then it wipes spell and trap cards, and it comes back, and it would have been such nice synergy if it were only level 7. But what does it do? Wing Beast effect, once per turn during your next standby phase after this card was destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon this card from your graveyard. If you do, destroy all spell and traps on the field. This card was at 1 for a while. It's really strong. It's a fun card to use. And I think the only reason it was as playable as it was is because of the next card. I know that there's a Nephthys archetype, and you can run this in your Fire King variants. You can destroy it in hand and still trigger it, I believe. Yeah, destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard. It doesn't have to be on the field. Sacred Phoenix was good on release as one of the best 2 tributes after Demok. I don't think you ever tribute summon it, though, because you got the Hand of Nephthys. Wind attribute, for whatever reason, it couldn't be fire like the Sacred Phoenix. Level 2, Spellcaster, effect. You can tribute this card and one other monster. Special summon one Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys from your hand or deck. 600 attack, 600 defense, and there's a lot of synergy that this card has. You can bring it out with Apprentice Magician, since it's a level 2 or lower spellcaster. And there's, this is one of the ways that you contribute a token or other cards that normally can't be tributed. Because it doesn't have to send it to the graveyard, it just has to send it. Or it just has to tribute it. So there's a lot of very interesting applications that you can do with Hand of Nephthys. I think the card is great. It was definitely meta at one point. I don't know if you would run it. I don't know if you run the Sacred Phoenix anymore. The spell and trap destruction just isn't what it used to be. I guess you could side deck it in your Fire Kings, and Fire Kings are still roughly part of the meta. I mean, I've seen decks recently top that have at least some of the Fire Kings in them. Next up, Ultimate Insect level 5. Wind attribute, level 5. Insect effect, if this card was special summoned by the effect of Ultimate Insect level 3, while it remains on the field, all your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack. During your standby phase, by sending this face-up card on the graveyard, special summon one Ultimate Insect level 7 from your hand or deck. You cannot activate this effect the turn this card is normal summoned, special summoned, or flip face-up. It's very weird. How would you normal summon this before your standby phase? I can understand special summoning it and you have Call the Haunted or something and bring it out, but how would you normal summon it before your standby phase? This card's an enigma. I also want to point out that I believe this is the 3rd Ultimate Insect that we've had, and they're still not very good. Maybe next set we'll have Ultimate Insect level 7 and it'll finally be decent. Here's hoping. Next up, Silent Swordsman level 5. Light Attribute level 5. Warrior effect. This card is unaffected by your opponent's spell cards. Pretty decent. During your next standby phase, after this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, you can send this face-up card to your graveyard, special summon one Silent Swordsman level 7 from your hand or deck. 2300 attack, 1000 defense. That condition is really hard to actually fulfill, getting in with a direct attack. And then your payoff is not good. I think it's okay. Is this on level with Command Magician, which I believe has immunity from your opponent's spell cards? And it's about on par. Would you bring this out with a level 3? Maybe in the right situation. I think we might demote the level 7 and then put this one in filler. Just because of how hard it is to actually get out the level 7. Arguably still worse than Horus level 6. There's some niche space in its edges. It edges out with equip and field spells, but man, it's rough. Yeah. Poor Silent Swordsman. I think the Silent Magicians were okay. Next up, Grand Marg the Earth Monarch. Nope. Grand Marg the Rock Monarch. Earth Attribute, level 6, Rock Effect. If this card is tribute summoned, target one set card on the field, destroy that target. 2400 attack, 1000 defense. This is the most niche Monarch for the time. I guess we get Delg and Kuraz, I believe, that are also niche, but in terms of Mobius, Thestalos, Ryza, Zaborg, and Caius, Grand Marg saw the least amount of play, but it was still featured in certain Monarch decks, or certain decks which did tribute. I think it barely gets into the meta at one point. I think just targeting set cards is not a big enough bonus. You either run Zaborg and just hit monsters, or you run Mobius the Frost Monarch and you hit 2 for the price of 1. Just that little bit of flexibility that you get with Grand Marg I don't think is worth it. It's decent but outclassed, but I have seen it in different deck profiles from meta decks throughout time. You barely get into meta. Next up, Element Valkyrie. Light Attribute, level 4, Fairy Effect. This monster gets the following effects while there is a monsters of the following attributes on the field. Fire, this card gains 500 attack. Water, control of this card cannot switch. 1500 attack, 1200 defense. I think the only good element card that we've had so far is Element Dragon, and that's just because other dragons tend to be fire and wind. When you think of fairy, do you think of fire? No. Do you think of water? A little bit, maybe? I don't know. I think the element cards are a good idea, but man, their effects are underwhelming. Control of this card cannot switch. That is the most minor benefit. It's the blindly loyal goblin effect. Or I guess Mataza the Zapper gets it too. But it's really filler. It doesn't have great synergy. The elemental monsters in this set and the previous ones are so cool in theory and sadly amount to nothing. That is very eloquent. Next element card, Element Doom. And this irks me. So this is a fiend monster, right? But we already have an element fiend monster. We have Elemental Soldier, which should have been a Warrior because this is redundant. But what does Element Doom do? Dark Attribute, level 4, Fiend Effect. This monster gets the following effects, while there is a monster with the following attributes on the field. Earth. Negate the effect of an effect monster that this card destroys by battle. That's okay. It's niche, but it's not bad. Wind. If this card destroyed your opponent's monster by battle, it can attack once again in a row. 1500 attack, 1200 defense. So you can go in, and if your opponent's on the defensive, you can maybe clear a couple monsters, but you have such low attack points. I think it's worse than the Valkyrie. Ooh. My hotkeys. Next up, Maji Giri Panda. Earth Attribute level 4. Beast Effect. Each time a beast monster on the field is destroyed, this card gains 500 attack permanently. 1000 attack, 800 defense. And the artwork on this card is really interesting in the OCG. This is a strange card. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but it's a very weird one. I think the effect is okay. I think it's just you're never going to get to that point where it's valuable. Are you crashing your monsters into your opponents? Not really. Can you get this off of a giant rat? Yes. There's a much better panda, and that's Gyaku-Giri Panda. Gyaku-Giri Panda, not only meta, it's currently a menace in GOAT formats in a very specific deck. Are the element monsters prequels to the elemental heroes? No. The King of Goat format beast, easily meta at one point. Are you sure that you're thinking Maji-Giri Panda, not Gyaku-Giri? Yeah, very similar, two different pandas, similar name. Next up, Catnipped Kitty. I love this card's artwork. It's adorable. Earth Attribute, level 2, Beast Effect. This card cannot be attacked if there is another Beast-type monster on your side of the field. Once per turn, you can make the defense of one monster on your opponent's side of the field 0 until the end of this turn. 0 attack, 500 defense. It's cute, but it's such a minor effect. There are spell cards that do this. What is it? Micro Ray, I believe, does this for easier. I guess you can avoid your opponent attacking if you have another beast. I don't know. It's cute. Next up, Behemoth, the king of all animals. Earth Attribute, level 7, Beast Effect. This card can be normal summoned or set with one tribute monster. In that case, the original attack of this card becomes 2000. When this card is tribute summoned successfully, you can return from your graveyard to the owner's hand a number of beast-type monsters equal to the number of tributed monsters. 2700 attack, 1500 defense. This card's pretty decent. I think it's good on release at the very least, but I don't think I've ever seen it in a meta deck. It's very fun in a zoo deck where you're running cards like Nibblebonga and Hyena and especially Rescue Cat, which is also in this set. There's some fun things that you can do with this, and it can help you not go so minus in terms of card advantage. This is one of the tribute monsters that sort of pays for itself. Another application is that you can use it under skill drain and just have a 1 tribute 2700 attack monster, and that's pretty good. Sort of like a Beast King Barbaros, but not as good, or Fusilier, the dual mode beast. This card is up there in one of the most recurring monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Art. And it's almost always depicted as losing. Oh, that's so sad. But yeah. I think that this card is in Lucky Punch, where it gets KO'd by Rescue Rabbit, and that's my favorite artwork he's in. He's the king of all animals and routinely loses. So many lore cards, he was made forcefully iconic. I can agree with that. Pretty decent, though. I like playing Zoo in GOAT format, but that might just be me. Next up, Big Tusked Mammoth. Earth Attribute, level 5, Beast effect. Monsters on your opponent's side of the field cannot attack at the same turn that they are normal summoned, flip summoned, or special summoned. 2000 attack, 1000 defense. I can almost see this being useful as a tool in a ninja toolbox where you can bring it out with Ninjutsu Art of Transformation. Slow down your opponent just a little bit, but I don't know. Is there another application for that? Are you really going to have a one tribute monster with this marginal of a benefit? I don't think so. It's probably worse than Kaiba Man, but better than the Valkyries. Next up, Kangaroo Champ. Earth Attribute, level 4, Beast effect. A monster that battles this card is changed to defense position after damage calculation. 800 attack, 700 defense. Those stats are just not good. It's got the stats of like a level 2 and the effect of about 1 too. Next up, Hyena. Earth Attribute, level 3, Beast effect. When this card is sent to the graveyard by battle, you can special summon any hyenas from your deck, then shuffle your deck. A lot of self-recruiters will just special summon one of them, or maybe that's not true. I want to say that Bubonic Vermin will special summon one of them, but Hyena, you can easily go +1 just by having it destroyed by battle. I think it's good on release, and I like it. Next up, Blade Rabbit. Earth Attribute, level 2, Beast effect. When this card is changed from attack position to face-up defense position, destroy one monster on your opponent's side of the field. 400 attack, 300 defense. Look, it's Clown Control, but Beast. The best application I can think of with this card is bring it out with Giant Rat. It's in attack position already. During your next turn, you shift it to defense position, and you pop a monster. That's not bad, and I think running one of in your Beast/Earth toolbox is not bad. Hyena is iconic in Bistro Butcher Self-Mill, where you can summon 1,000,000 floaters into a Bistro Butcher to draw your entire deck. That's fair. The Last Clown and came out probably 3 years too late to be meta. I don't know if I'd say that. I think it's niche use, but you could pull it off in contemporary game. I'd say off of a Giant Rat, it's decent. Next up, Mechadog Marin. Another member of our Marin story. I guess this is in the future. Light Attribute, level 4, Machine effect. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, inflict 1,000 damage to both players. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard except by battle, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. 1,000 attack, 1,000 defense. This card was used in Chainburn, and I can't think of any other time where you'd use it, but in a deck that doesn't really need its normal summon, you would set this and then deal 1,000 damage. It's been such a long time since I last saw these old Yu-Gi-Oh sets being mentioned. I'm so used to the modern sets from Henrik Hagenwolf. I have a soft spot for the older sets, and I'm just going to go through all of them in order. I think very few cards from the older sets are actually playable anymore, but it's fun to reminisce. I think occasionally we find a gem in the rough. Next up, Blast Magician. Fire attribute, level 4, spellcaster effect. Each time a spell card is activated, place one spell counter on this card. When that spell card resolves, you can remove any number of spell counters from this card, then target one face-up monster on the field with attack less than or equal to the number of counters you remove times 700. Destroy that target. Woof. Bit wordy. I think that this card is decent removal, but maybe spell counters in general are just too hard to pull off at this point. I feel like this was one of the first sets where they tried to make it an archetype deck building set, except their archetype was weird beast monsters. In terms of Flaming Eternity, I think that that's okay evaluation, but a whole bunch of sets right before the release of a structure deck have most of the cards from that structure deck in them. I want to say the Lost Millennium comes out before Exod Master of the Guard comes out, and like all the monsters in that deck come from that set. I think Blast Magician was good on release. I think you're running into a lot of weaker monsters. If you can chain together 2 spell cards on your turn, then you can pop something like a Don Zalug, I believe, has 1400 attack points. And that's not bad. Is it useful? Sort of. Is it niche? Yes. Are you building a spell counter deck at this point? There's a few cards that are not bad. I believe, what is it? There's the counter spell where you remove 2 spell counters from the card and then you can counter a magic card. That was pretty good. But I just don't think it's worth the investment. Even though there's a lot of interesting spells that you can run with Blast Magician. You can run Terraforming, you can run Emblem of Dragon Destroying, you can run Gather Your Mind. It's just the payoff's not there. Remember when people didn't buy Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure decks because of a 1-card staple reprint? Oof. Next up, Chiron the Mage. Earth attribute, level 4, Beast Warrior, effect. Once per turn, you can discard 1 spell, then target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy that target. 1800 attack, 1000 defense, and this card has such great incidental synergy with Fire Fist. Level 4, Beast Warrior, likes discarding spells, and you're in a Fire Fist deck, you got tons of spell cards. It is probably not intentional, but I really like that. It is a tech option for Fire Fist, and Fire Fist were meta at one point. So I think in GOAT format, this card also saw a little bit of play just for spell or trap removal. And I think one really funny application with Chiron the Mage is you can use Sonic Bird, get a ritual spell into your hand, so you go +1, and then you can discard it with Chiron the Mage, and then you can use cards like Manticore of Darkness to pop your own Sonic Bird and bring out a stronger monster. I think there's a really wacky Beast Zoo deck in GOAT that just isn't quite there yet. More theory crafting is necessary. But yeah, I'd say low meta. Discarding spells sounds rough, but you can use it if your deck likes to discard. I don't know if I agree with that. It is a high cost to pay, and it is a skill testing card more than anything, I'd say. Chiron the Mage was that starter deck vibe. I can agree with that. It reminds me a lot of the feeling I get from Exarion Universe for some reason. Next up, Gearfried the Swordmaster. Whoa, this card isn't exclusive to the structure deck. Who knew? Light attribute, level 7, warrior effect, cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned with release restraint, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When an equip cards is equipped to this card, target one monster your opponent destroys. Target one monster your opponent controls, destroy that target. 2600 attack, 2200 defense. That is not a bad effect. That you can just pop a card for free because you're running an equip spell deck, which I know there's some anti-synergy with Gearfried and equip spells, but it's not that unheard of to want to run this card. I think the problem is just release restraint is not good. You have to go -1 to bring this card out. I think with a little bit of tweaking in the warrior structure deck, since we get Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, just a little bit of tweaking. If the deck centered around Gearfried the Swordmaster instead of Guilford the Legend, it would be significantly better. But right now I think this card is underwhelming. But with Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, you could just pop and pop and pop. Or you could use some other cards like Smoke Grenade, since you're already running Gearfried. There's some options. I think we're going to put it in good on release. Either that or filler outclassed. Is it better than Kaiba Man? Yes. Is it better than Silent Swordsman? Yes. I don't know. Discount Breaker. I think that's for Chiron, but I guess it also works for Gearfried. Next up, Armed Samurai Benkei. Dark attribute, level 4, warrior effect. For each equip card equipped to this card, it gains 1 additional attack during each battle phase. 500 attack, 800 defense, and this card is an OTK enabler. You just equip it with lots of equip cards, and then you just go to town on your opponent. This is your win condition in certain decks. Granted, certain decks that are built around it, but unironically great. Benkei OTK is a force to be reckoned with. Yeah. You don't use it anymore, but I think it's a fun card. I'm surprised Konami did not retrain this card. Me too. This guy must be a menace and low ranks on Master Duel. Oof. It was meta, though. Bring it out with Rhoda. Equip it with some decent equip cards. Your Axe of Despair. 2 Axes of Despair. This card can attack 3 times with 2500 attack. That's pretty strong. Next up, Shadow Slayer. I just want to point out the artwork on this card. Where is it? There we go. This card is very similar to Dark Assailant in terms of artwork, and I think that that's a cool way to make it a throwback. Have a nice little reference to an older card, but not necessarily replace it. Maybe it's just me, though. The eye on it, the, armed, I don't know, combat fatigues, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But what does Shadow Slayer do? Dark Attribute, level 4, Fiend effect. If all monsters your opponent controls are in defense position, this card can attack your opponent directly. 1400 attack, 200 defense. This might be your first time seeing Shadow Slayer? Oh, good. I think it's underwhelming. I think the effect is so marginal. I've thought about putting this in a deck specifically to bring out with Mystic Tomato so that you could counterattack, but the board position that you need to have in order for that to work is so specific. Maybe with Earthquake? I don't know. I'd say it's filler. Next up, Golem Sentry. Earth Attribute, level 4, Rock effect. Once per turn, you can flip this card into face-down defense position. When this card is flip summoned, return one monster on your opponent's side of the field to the owner's hand. It sort of reminds me of, what does it remind me of? It reminds me of Crass Clown, since it bounces to hand. But maybe a little bit better than Crass Clown. It's got more defense points. It's once per turn, so you can get it every turn. Is this as good as Swarm of Scarabs, though? Where you're popping a monster? This is just returning it. I'm not sure if this is outclassed. Optimizing everything. I love Golem Sentry's tiny face at the top. Yeah, he is mostly door. I think it's just outclassed. It's better than the Valkyrie, though. Next up, Abare Ushioni. Earth Attribute, level 4, Beast Warrior, effect. Once per turn, you can toss a coin and call it. If you call it right, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. If you call it wrong, you take 1,000 damage. 1,200 attack, 1,200 defense. This is a gamble card. The effect is not terrible, but I just don't think it's worth the risk. The stats are pretty bad too. I guess you can bring it out with Giant Rat in your beast deck, and then burn yourself for 1,000 and have a weak monster. Got a comment on Golem Sentry. The significantly higher defense is relevant to call it strictly outclassed. Most Pac-Man just die to an attack. Golem Sentry can actually survive a hit. That's true. Okay. I can see it moving into good on release then. Comment on Abare Ushioni. Just win coin flips. It's that easy. Gambling for game. Might have been amazing in that Duel Links coin flip deck. Oh, that's the one that's got like second coin toss as a skill card, I want to say. I don't think it's amazing though. I think it is marginally okay if you burn your opponent for 1,000. Next up, the Light Hex Sealed Fusion. And this bugs me too. To this day, we only have 3 Hex Sealed Fusions, and we have 6 attributes. And not only that, like, you could really improve things if you had more. And Fiend Skull Dragon is Wind attribute, and I don't understand why. Why couldn't it be Dark? Because then you'd bring it out with the Dark Hex Sealed Fusion, but not right now. Light Attribute, level 3, Rock effect. Light Attribute Rock, weird. You can substitute this card for any one fusion material monster, but the other fusion material monsters must be correct. You can tribute fusion material monsters on the field, including this face-up card. Special summon one corresponding light fusion monster from your extra deck. 1,000 attack, 1,600 defense. I just want to point out, that this card is one of the many that were released that bypasses the actual fusion mechanic. This is not a fusion summon. This is really weird to me that you got like Metamorphosis and you got this card and you got like Fusion Gate, later Instant Fusion. It's so hard to make the fusion mechanic work until they get, I don't know, I guess Elemental Heroes eventually get there. Shaddolls, I think, are the first time the fusion mechanic really shines, though. Branded card, instant meta threat. Ooh. You play Hex Sealed Fusion and Branded. Oh, you get it as Alistair? No, that doesn't work. Because then your opponent would have to have a light to make Merkaba. Or you make this as the light? I don't know. Can you even run this in Branded? Oh, what am I thinking? I'm thinking of Alistair the Invoker. I'm thinking of Invoked, not Branded. We need to discuss the art. What is it made of? It's made of everything. It's got machine parts, it's got magic parts, it's got monster parts, it's got lots of weird stuff. It's got to be able to fuse with anything, so the best strategy is just everything. Does bypassing the fusion summon mean you can't revive the special summon fusion card after it's sent to the graveyard? Yeah. Because you need a proper fusion summon for those. It does mean that you can bring out, not with the light Hex Sealed Fusion, but the next one, the Dark Hex Sealed Fusion. You can actually bring out Dark Balter the Terrible, since it bypasses the fusion mechanic. Because that card can only be fusion summoned with the Possessed Dark Soul and Frontier Wiseman. Very weird. Very, very weird interaction. But next up, the Dark Hex Sealed Fusion. Dark Attribute, level 3, Rock, Effect. You contribute this card for any one, substitute this card for any one fusion material monster, but the other fusion monsters must be correct. You contribute fusion monsters on your side of the field, including this face-up card. Special summon one corresponding dark fusion monster from your extra deck. 1,000 attack, 1,600 defense. Real strong. More applications than the light one. And I think I'm just going to put them here or here. I know the Earth one was an option that you could play in meta decks, but I'm not sure where I would put it. I think bringing out Master of Oz with the Earth one is really funny. Speaking of which, the Earth Hex Sealed Fusion. Earth Attribute, level 3, Rock Effect. You can substitute this card for any one fusion material monster, but the other fusion material monsters must be correct. You contribute fusion material monsters on your side of the field, including this face-up card. Special summon one corresponding Earth fusion monster from your extra deck. 1,000 attack, 1,600 defense. Meta at 1 point. It's cool that there's 3 of them. I wish there was a full 6 attribute cycle, though. Some of the weirdest looking art, though. I've seen specifically the dark one on a worst art video, as in most disturbing. You think the Earth one is the worst? In terms of art or effect? You can bring out Master of Oz with it, and that's a little fun. I'm trying to think, what else can you bring out? Did people actually play Master of Oz OTK? Yes. There's got to be a fun brew with this and Block Dragon. Ooh. Ooh, they are rocks. I don't know. It does sound like fun, though. We're not bringing back Block Dragon, but man, if we could. Next up, Whirlwind Prodigy. Wind Attribute, level 4, Fairy, Effect. This card can be treated as 2 tributes for a tribute summon of a wind monster. 1,500 attack, 1,600 defense. Interestingly, not all of these have 1500 attack, so you could actually bring this out with... Ooh, what is the wind one? Why can I not remember the wind floater? I don't remember a single good Earth Fusion and Goat. Artwork actually looks like the lost normal out of the three. Oh, the least normal out of the three for the Earth one. Flying Kamakuri, number 1. Thank you. Could not think of it. I think it's underwhelming. It is 1500 attack, though. Just what are you tribute summoning? Your Red Eyes Black Dragon? No, you got Red Eyes Be Chick for that. Next up, Flame Ruler. Fire attribute, level 4, Pyro, effect. This card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a fire monster, 1500 attack, 1600 defense. I think this card has a little bit more application. When we do get, the Inferno Fire Emperor, it's at the end of the set. That's not bad. Tribute summoning it with 1 tribute. It makes the card almost playable, but I don't know about it. I think it's just outclassed. I think these double tributes never really caught on. You gotta line up too many things. You gotta have a 2 tribute monster in hand and this on the field, and have your normal summon. And at that point, is it worth it? Probably not. Next up, Firebird. Fire attribute, level 4, Winged Beast effect. Each time a Winged Beast monster on your side of the field is destroyed, this card gains 500 attack. 1000 attack, 800 defense. Man! I just realized that this card is significantly worse than Magigire Panda. It has the same stat lineup as Magigire Panda, but it's a Winged Beast instead of Beast. And that's just much worse. Where do we put the Panda? Put it in bad. You're just not in a board state where it's useful. Tyrant Dragon and Nephthys are targets for Flame Ruler. That's not bad. Next up, Rescue Cat. And I'm going to be reading the original text from Flaming Eternity. Earth attribute, level 4, Beast effect. Send this face-up card on your side of the field to the graveyard to special summon 2 level 3 or lower Beast-type monsters from your deck to the field. The monsters special summoned by this effect are destroyed during the end phase. 300 attack, 100 defense. Very cute. Introduction to our rescue squad. And I think we need to pull up the modern effect to get why this is a problem. Oh no. Where'd you go? Okay. New artwork too. Okay, so the new effect is you can send this card to the graveyard, special summon 2 level 3 or lower beast monsters from your deck, but their effects are negated. Also, they are destroyed during the end phase. You can only use this effect of Rescue Cat once per turn. Aged like wine even after the errata. Interesting. OG Rescue Cat had a better design. OG Rescue Cat better be a design mistake. Yeah, I can agree with that. Any card that has effect changing errata, I think, fits into the design mistake category. If Konami thinks that it was such a problem that they had to fix it in a way that invalidates older versions of the card. It gets that category. I love the new artwork with the little whistle. The rescue cat. The rescue monsters have some of the best art in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! History. I can agree with that. Emerging Emergency Rescute, I think is great. But in terms of Rescue Cat, the fact that it negates the effects slows the card down a little bit right now. But man, before that, this card was crazy. You could bring it out with Last Will and then just swarm the field, and then you get out the Gyakugiri Panda and you set up for your OTK, or Milus Radiant is even playable with Rescue Cat, which is crazy. We get into X-Sabers, and this card is amazing. There's a lot of applications, and this card is GOAT legal and full strength. It's really fun. If they didn't errata it, it would have been banned indefinitely, I think. I can agree with that. Maybe it'd come off for like one list just so that people could play around with one copy of it, but the card was really strong. Both a design mistake and worth considering today. I guess technically this modern version wasn't released in FET. Not to mention the FTK. Oh, there's lots of FTKs. I'm surprised this card is still as good as it is, but I like it. I like Rescue Cat. It's a lot of fun when you can play with it, but maybe not when you're on the receiving end of an OTK. Of an FTK, not an OTK. Let's turn off Rescue Cat. There we go. Next up, Rainjacker. Dark Attribute, level 2. Amazing artwork for whatever that counts for. Fiend effect, flip. Equip this card to a monster on the opponent's side of the field and treat it as an equip card. Take control of the equipped monster. Your opponent gains 500 life points during each of their standby phases. 200 attack, 900 defense. It's sort of like Snatch Steal. I mean, it's got similar downside, but man, this card is a lot more awkward to use. Can you imagine this getting hit by your opponent's Nobleman of Crossout? It also reminds me of Dark Necrofear, that it equips itself and takes control. Pretty cool card. I just don't think it's very useful. When you can play Snatch Steal, why play, discount Snatch Steal? Next up, Gatling Dragon. Dark Attribute, level 8. Machine Fusion effect. Materials are Barrel Dragon and Blowback Dragon. Once per turn, you can toss a coin 3 times and destroy as many monsters on the field as possible, but not more than the number of heads. That's mandatory. So if you hit 3 heads and there's 3 monsters on the field, doesn't matter where they are, they're all getting destroyed. This card is useful in a Shonen Jump topping deck. I think it won the World Championship, and it was called Rusty Bucket of Bolts. And you use Gatling Dragon and Overload Fusion to bring it out. It was a really cool deck. It used Ancient Gears as an engine, specifically with Ancient Gear Drill to find your better targets for your spell cards. What's up with the set and gambling? That's a good question. But yeah, this card was meta. Not just meta, highest tier of competitive play at the time. Or at least at one point in time. Very strong. Why are there so many gamble cards, though? I don't know. Next up, King Dragoon. Dark Attribute, level 7, which is weird. Dragon Fusion effect. Materials are Lord of D and Divine Dragon Ragnarok. Your opponent cannot target dragon monsters with card effects. Okay. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand. Ooh, that's not bad. It's level 7 though. How are you bringing this out? Are you using Metamorphosis on a level 7 monster? That's a little hard. Are you actually fusion summoning it? Maybe. But then you're going so minus that Special summoning a dragon from your hand isn't really that strong. At that point, are you better off, with Lord of D and Flute of Summoning Dragon? Maybe. And what's the payoff? A Blue Eyes on field? That's not bad. I just think it's outclassed. Next up, a Feather of the Phoenix. I wonder if it's the Sacred Phoenix. Normal spell, discard one card, then target one card in your graveyard. Return that target to the top of the deck. This is interestingly used in certain combo decks, but specifically in Diamond Dude Turbo. For one thing, you can bypass the discard if you hit it with Diamond Dude. Then you can stack your deck, and then you can hit it again with Diamond Dude. You can hit whatever you actually intend with it. It's interesting. Use it in Lightsworn? Maybe. It's recursion, it's expensive, but it does have niche application. I like Diamond Dude Turbo. I think that's a really cool deck. Knight of Hanoi moment. Next up, Spell Absorption. This is like, I don't know, S tier in the playground. Like everyone runs Spell Absorption because it just sounds so good. Continue a spell. Each time a spell card is activated, gain 500 life points immediately after it resolves. Yay! You can get tons of life points for free. And it's just not soul absorption. Are there ways to get infinite life points with this card? Yes, with Gearfried, Butterfly Dagger Elma, but I just don't think that the card's useful. Could you possibly be running this card as an enabler in your Era Mage deck, in your Aroma deck? Maybe, but there's better options. I think it's just outclassed. Next up, Lightning Vortex. Normal spell, discard one card, destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls. This card's meta. Now we have the enhanced version, we have Lightning Storm, and even Lightning Storm is, debatably useful. But this card was at 1 for a while, and it was very powerful. Next up, Meteor of Destruction. Normal spell, if your opponent's life points are higher than 3,000, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. I think this card is dead in burn decks some of the time, and that's a big drawback to me. This card is possibly unplayable when you're already winning. I think it's okay. I think Chainburn played around with it, but I don't think it was good. I think all the burn spells are going to fit into filler outclassed except for Chain Strike for me. It's crazy we have Raigeki at 3, but at some point they printed the card and it was at 1 anyway. Yep. Spell Absorption is so bad Konami had to retrain it with Spell Economics. Spell Economics is its own thing, and Spell Economics is... It is gimmick. Next up, I'm going to be controversial on this one. I like Swords of Concealing Light a lot. I mean, Slayer Music Q likes it more than me, but I'm going to give this a very soft worth considering today. And the main reason is that this card can break boards. You don't see it often, but this has been a side deck choice, very format dependent, and it loses a lot of strength considering how many Link monsters are running around, and Link monsters can't be flipped into face-down defense position. But at many points in time, this card was worth considering. Is it worth considering today? Maybe. I'm going to say very niche applications. Yeah. But what does it do? Destroy this card during your second standby phase after activation. When this card resolves, change all monsters your opponent control to face down defense position. Monsters your opponent control cannot change their battle positions. Swords is a good card even to this day, especially when Kashitira are running around. Link monsters should have been destroyed when flipped face down, like it's bugging out. That'd be better. It's a pretty good card actually, since it turns off continuous effects better than Swords of Revealing Light nowadays, I think. Yeah. I think niche application. Keep it in the back of your mind. That's what I'm going to say. Next up, Spiral Spear Strike. Continuous spell. If Gaia the Fierce Knight, Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight, or Gaia the Dragon Champion you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Oof. If Gaia the Dragon Champion specifically inflicts battle damage with this effect, draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. This card hurts me. It's interesting. There's a whole Gaia archetype, and this card works on like half of them. In fact, Gaia got a new card every set. It got a fusion monster, it got a ritual monster, it got a link monster, it got an Xyz monster, and a synchro monster. And this card only works on these 3 specifically, and it only really works on the Dragon Champion. You draw 2 cards, and that's amazing, but then you have to discard 1. I don't know why it has that drawback. Was this really such a winning strategy where drawing 2 cards would be too strong in this super niche circumstance? I don't know. This is arguably worse than Meteor of Destruction or Big Bang Shot, since it only affects 3 cards in the whole game. It looks nice. Spiral Spear Strike is apparently so iconic, they made almost every Gaia fusion being treated as the Dragon Champion and a fusion to search it, so clearly Konami loves it. I agree. It's a cool technique. We like seeing the attack cards like Burst Stream of Destruction and what are the other ones? Inferno Fire Blast. We like seeing those. Those are cool cards when they are in the game. Dark Magic Attack. But man, do you even play it in Archetype? Do you play it with the other fusions? I don't know. To me, it's just bad. Arguably very bad. Next up, Release Restraint. Normal spell, tribute 1 Gearfried the Iron Knight, special summon 1 Gearfried the Swordmaster from your hand or deck. Very narrow. Gearfried's searchable, but this card isn't, so lining up the combo, I think, just makes it a little too hard. I'm going to put it right next to Gearfried the Swordmaster. I like the card. I want to make it work in certain formats, but I'm in the minority. Next up, Centrifugal Field. Field spell. When a fusion monster is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, its owner targets 1 fusion material in their graveyard that is listed on that fusion monster. That player special summons that target. You get a rebate. That's not bad, except the condition is really tight. It has to be destroyed specifically by a card effect, so it can't be destroyed by battle or banished. If it left the field and then you got to bring back a material, I think the card would be much better. But the way it is, I just don't think it's worth it. You dedicate so many resources to your fusion summon, and then you have to have a field spell on top of that, and then your rebate is just 1 little monster. I like the idea, though. Mitigates some of the fusion disadvantage. I guess it's got a little bit of application that you can use improperly fusion summoned monsters if you have the material in the graveyard. So maybe it combos with the Hex Sealed Fusions and Metamorphosis and something. Can it miss the timing? Oh, it's a when. That is a very good point. That makes the card significantly worse. I wish it couldn't miss the timing. There's also Decode Destruction, Torpedo Takedown, Absolute Power Force, Rising Sun Slash, and Cosmic Flare. There's there's the Cyber Dragon one too. What is the name of it? Cyber Dragon's attack. There's a lot of attack spells, and I like them. Stardust Dragon has 2 cards based on its attack. Interesting. Next up, personal favorite card of mine, Fulfillment of the Contract. Equip spell, activate this card by paying 800 life points. Then target 1 ritual monster in your graveyard. Special summon it and equip it with this card. When this card is destroyed, banish the equipped monster. Ooh, I've never realized this, but this has the premature burial problem. You can bounce this to hand and keep your monster. That's cool. You could banish this card possibly and keep your monster. Are there any other mysterious ways that you could do? I guess you could flip it face down and then keep your monster. There are some applications with that. I've never noticed that it has that slight weakness or that slight oversight that premature burial had. I like this card because of what it does for ritual decks. It mitigates some of the inherent disadvantage of the ritual summon, and I think if you go to the effort of properly ritual summoning a monster, getting it back with this card, not that bad. That being said, if you're going to the effort of properly getting out a ritual monster, there's other ways to revive it. I've tried to make this card work, and I just haven't had success. Its counterpart is Refusion. Equip spell, activate this card by paying 800 life points, then target 1 fusion monster in your graveyard. Special summon it and equip it with this card. When this card is destroyed, banish the equipped monster. It's just your rebate on your fusion. I think it's decent for all the same reasons as Fulfillment of the Contract, and all the same weaknesses apply. I like the cards more than I should. I might even put them in good on release, but I might feel wrong about that. They got some decent utility. Much more than the ritual and fusion weapons now that I think of it. Next up, the Big March of Animals. Until the end of this turn, all face-up beast-type monsters on your side of the field gain 200 attack for each beast-type monster on your side of the field. So, let's see. If you have 5 monsters on your side of the field, then 5 beasts would gain 1,000 attack each. That's not that bad. This card is better than Rush Recklessly some of the time. This card is better than Graceful Dice a lot of the time. It's a quick play spell, but it's a combat trick. I think most of the time you're just better off running Shrink. But I guess you could push for more damage with this card. You can use goat tokens. Worse than Rush Recklessly. It has a higher upside. I think it's mostly outclassed by Graceful Dice, though. Because Graceful Dice, quick play spell, similar effect. Lower ceiling, and I guess lower floor, too. But better average. Better expected return. I like the card. I like that the card gets a sequel later. Next up, Cross Counter. Normal trap. If the defense of an attacked defense position monster is higher than the attack of your opponent's attacking monster, The battle damage inflicted to the opponent is doubled. Destroy the attacking monster after damage calculation. Look, it's Behemoth getting KO'd by what is that, Death Kangaroo? Oof, Behemoth, you're not looking good. Question about why is Ojama King considered an animal? Because it's a beast. Optimizing everything, coming in saying the lore for Behemoth. I think this card has a fun gimmick where you can use it with Aztec statue of the ancients, where it already doubles the battle damage, and you could double the double. And I guess if you stack Canyon, then you can double the double, and then you can stack things like D-Shield and Stronghold Guardian, and just OTK your opponent with your defense position monster. It's cute. I like how it destroys a card, but I think it's just too niche. Would you be running this over Sakuretsu Armor or Magical Cylinder? No. It's half of each. A bit too cute. Artwork's great, though. Next up, Pole Position. Normal Trap. The face-up monsters with the highest attack on the field is unaffected by the effects of spell cards. When Pole Position is removed from the field, destroy the face-up monsters with the highest attack on the field. Pole Position is a design mistake, because this card can create illegal game states. Where you have, what is it? I want to say it's Luminous Field, and then a spellcaster monster and non-spellcasting area, where this creates an infinite loop, where if your monster is being boosted by attack by a spell card to make it the highest attack on the field, then it no longer becomes the highest attack on the field, then it becomes the highest attack on the field, then it no longer becomes the attack on the field. Anyway, it is a design mistake, but this card has been resolved by game mechanics. There was a rule change at some point that if an involuntary loop happens, the card that caused the involuntary loop would get destroyed. So if Pole Position gets destroyed, then likely the problem monster is also getting destroyed. I think this card is not good design. It is definitely a design mistake, but to the degree it's more like an oversight and less like a game warping problem. The card's really silly. Jinzo plus any equip with Pole Position. Ooh, that's an infinite loop. Pole Position, legendarily bad design card. Yep. Next up, Penalty Game. Oh, it's Invader of Darkness. Normal Trap. When your opponent has 4 cards in their hand, activate one of the effects. Your opponent cannot draw during their next draw phase. Your opponent cannot activate spell or traps this turn. You have to have exactly 4 cards in hand. That is so specific. I guess what you do is you set Penalty Game going first, and then your opponent uses 2 cards, and then you quickly hit them with Penalty Game. And I guess you could stop their spell and traps for the turn. That's not that bad. Getting a time seal effect off of this card. I don't see it being useful. The upside of stopping spell and traps for the turn, though, that is a decent upside. Especially for the time. I just think it's outclassed, though. Cold Wave. Cold Wave does this better. Sorta does it better. What is it? Why? But I always think Eldritch the Golden Lord appears on the artwork of Penalty Game. No, that's Invader of Darkness. This is 2 decades before Eldritch is the thing. Next up, Threatening Roar. Look, it is Behemoth again getting bullied, this time by the Manticore of Darkness. He is getting the short end of the stick in all these card artworks. I'm going to look out for that. Normal Trap. Your opponent cannot declare an attack this turn. There is Thunder of Ruler, which does this card the same thing as this card, but this card's a little better because it doesn't have to be activated during the standby phase. You saw this card a lot in stall decks. Ooh. You actually use it today against Tempai decks. Ooh. Still viable today. You don't use Battle Fader? Or there's a lot of different ways to disrupt the battle phase. Do you use Threatening Roar? I don't know. I guess your opponent can stop Battle Fader in a couple different ways. This is one of the best stall cards in the game. I think One Day of Peace will beat it later, but real strong. Next up, Phoenix Wing Windblast. And this artwork, man, Sacred Phoenix looks so weird in it. The way that its wings are like in the middle of its torso instead of above its arms really freaks me out. And it's just the way the card is designed. It's not so obvious in its artwork, but when you see it in this and then the position, oh man, I don't like it. Battle Fader is easier to negate, but I've seen Threatening Roar in side decks or in stall decks. That's fair. I think it's worth considering today. I think Threatening Roar is... Side deck is still worth considering. Phoenix Wing Windblast. Normal Trap. Discard one card, then target one card your opponent controls. Place that target on the top of the deck. This is Ryze's effect. I think Ryze might not be able to hit spell and traps. This card is sort of better than Raigeki Break. So you're discarding a card, and then you're removing a card, but you're also denying your opponent's next draw. So this is sort of neutral card advantage. If you hit a big target, like a monster that they tribute summoned or something that's hard to get out, then this card's great. Better than Raigeki Break, I'd say. But this was premium removal at a few different points in the game. Next up, Good Goblin Housekeeping. Normal Trap. Draw cards equal to the number of Good Goblin Housekeeping cards in your graveyard plus 1. Then select one card from your hand and return it to the bottom of the deck. There are some silly combos that you can do with Good Goblin Housekeeping, specifically with cards like Reasoning, where you reverse stack your deck, I guess, and then put the only target back at the bottom, and then mill your entire deck with Reasoning. I don't think that's a good strategy, but it is something. Good Goblin Housekeeping was actually meta, and this card went to 2 on the ban list, which I think is really interesting. Ideally, in a longer game, this card does pay for itself. So the first time you activate it, it's a -1. That's not great. The second time you activate it, it's net neutral card advantage. The third time you activate it, it is +1. So overall, it's not that bad. But if you're discarding the card or you're milling the card, then the second activation of the card is still net neutral. But then the third one is the +1, so you go +1 overall. It's one very interesting card that I remember using in Tag Force 1, and that's all I can say. That's very fair. I think it's weird that this card saw so much play. This card and Reckless Greed are a bit of an anomaly to me, but I know that Reckless Greed is much better. If you trigger Good Goblin Housekeeping for the first time and chain MST to send it to the graveyard, do you draw 1 or 2 cards? Maybe it counts itself in the graveyard. Maybe? More research is necessary before I say anything on that. That is a good question. Next up, Beast Soul Swap. Normal trap, target 1 beast monster you control, return it to hand, and if you do, special summon 1 beast type monster from your hand with the same level as the monster that was returned to hand. This is so weird. It is super niche that you can dodge destruction with this by returning a beast and then playing it back, and an effect will fizzle. But man, is this card better than Interdimensional Matter Transporter, which could do that? Or is this ever useful? Are there certain beasts that are hard to get out that you could get out with this card? I don't know. I think it's just a -1 for no reason. You know that housekeeping is old when Konami intended you to draw more than 1 in your starting hand. Yeah. Battle phase tech for Beast Soul Swap. Oh, that is an option. You have your monster, and then you target it, and then you bring it out, and then you could get an extra attack off. Is that useful? Maybe. I guess you could force your opponent into a replay battle if you take their attack target and you bring it back to hand and then you pull out another attack target for them. That could be useful. I don't know. I guess we'll bump it up just 1 tier because there are applications. Next up, Assault on GHQ. I believe that's Goblin Headquarters, because the Goblin attack force is there. Normal trap. Target 1 monster you control, destroy it, then send 2 cards from the top of the opponent's deck to the graveyard. Oh man. Oh man. This card is really irksome. It just reads like 2-pronged attack to me, where you're giving up 2 resources for very marginal amount of gain. Why not just run Needlebug? That one mills way more for less cost. This card's really bad. Interesting. Comment on Beast Soul Swap. You kind of compare it as a beta version of Swallow's Nest. Can kind of compare it to Swallow's Nest. Interesting. Swallow's Nest is great because you can get out Sacred Phoenix of Crane from the deck and go +1. Swallow's Nest, fantastic card. I love it. Beast Soul Swap, not so much. Assault on GHQ, really bad. Best part of the card is the artwork. We get to see the other half of Prepare to Strike Back, or I guess the result of Prepare to Strike Back. The lore, Marauding Captain and Goblin Attack Force. Next up, DD Dynamite. Normal trap, inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each of their removed from play cards. That's a win condition in certain decks. I know I've seen this in specific games. This is how you go for game. In your Banisher of the Radiance and certain anti-meta decks, it's a lot of burn damage. DD Dynamite can be a lot of burn damage. You need, 27 cards banished if you only have 1 copy of this card? But if you have 2, then you need half of that, and you need 14 cards banished. That's not bad. DD Dynamite, the card of choice for Master Duel bots. That's funny. When we get Necroface out, though, this card becomes way more menacing, because you can banish 15 cards off of one Necroface with Golden Sarcophagus. And that does 4,500 points of damage off of one card if you're lucky. That's not bad. Next up, classic card, Deck Devastation Virus. Interestingly enough, we don't have Crush Card yet. We get Crush Card as a Shonen Jump Championship promo card, I think next year. It's either 2006, 2007, or 2008. But Deck Devastation Virus is the first one released in the TCG. What does it do? Normal Trap, tribute one dark monster with 2,000 or more attack, look at your opponent's hand, all monsters they control, and all cards they draw until the end of the third turn after this card's activation, and destroy all monsters with 1,500 or less attack. Arguably, this card's aged a little bit better. There are a lot of weak monsters in the game, a lot of weak combo pieces, and 1,500 attack is a bar that a lot of them fall under. I think that this card is fun, that you could potentially use it with the what is it called? Nope. The Labyrinth Butler, that you could potentially pull this off of hand, especially if you have the Butler and then certain Bestial cards have that threshold of attack and the Dark attribute, and you could potentially pull off a Deck Devastation Virus on your opponent's first turn. I don't think that that's necessarily good, but this card is just so interesting to me. It hits a lot of hand traps in the meta. Oh, definitely. Gets rid of basically all hand traps not called Gorz the Emissary of Darkness. Yep. I think we're going to put it in worth considering today. There's a lot of board states where you can get out a 2,000 attack monster and just burn it. Going first with a Deck Devastation Virus, ooh, that can be dirty. I like the card. I think it's worth considering. Next up, Elemental Burst. This card is not as good as Furin Kazan. Normal Trap, tribute one of each wind, water, fire, and earth monsters to activate this card. So you're already going -4. Destroy all cards on your opponent's side of the field. I guess you can use Doriado, but still. Ooh, transaction rollback. Does that work? Okay. Pay half your life points, then target one normal trap in your opponent's graveyard, except transaction rollback. This effect becomes that card's activation effect. Or you can banish this card from your graveyard, pay half your life points, then target one normal trap, except transaction rollback. This effect becomes that card's activation effect. So yeah, you could possibly use transaction rollback and bypass that terrible condition. This effect becomes that card's activation effect. It sounds like it works like Diamond Dude. Tribute is not a cost since there is no semicolon, but I'm not positive. Oh man. Is this card a design mistake? Is Elemental Burst? Oh, it is a cost. It's a cost because there's a period. Tribute one of each to activate this card. Yeah. Maybe you get it off of transaction rollback and it's a little bit better, but aren't there better targets? Can you use transaction rollback with the virus cards? I guess you can. I think this card's just very bad, though. Next up, Forced Ceasefire. Is it as good as normal Ceasefire? It's got the Forceful Sentry in it. Discard 1 card from your hand. No trap cards can be activated until the end of this turn. Interesting. It's sort of like Trap Stun. Also have Trap of Darkness. Okay, Trap of Darkness. If your life points are 3,000 or less, play 1,000 life points, then target 1 normal trap in your graveyard, except Trap of Darkness. This card's effect becomes that target's effect, then banish that target. Oh. Interesting. I believe, transaction rollback seems to be the actual design mistake. Yeah. For point of comparison, so Trap Stun, negate all other trap cards on the field this turn. And Force Ceasefire. No trap cards can be activated until the end of this turn. I guess you can chain traps to this card. I don't know. I think it's okay. Is it as good as Royal Decree? No. One-time use for Trap Stun. I guess it's filler outclass now, but not that bad on release. Okay. That is the last of Flaming Eternity. Now I'm going to cover a few extra cards. Where are these from? Okay, this is from... Oh, what is this from? Okay, this is from Duelist League 7 participation card is where Toon Goblin Attack Force is from. It's a card between Darkness Dragon and Elemental Burst. Oh, that's attack on GHQ. Look, we got more Goblin Attack Force right here. So, Toon Goblin Attack Force, Earth Attribute, level 4, Warrior, Toon, Effect. Hey, you can run Rhoda in your Toon deck if you want to. That's not bad. I mean, it's not good, but it's an option. Cannot attack the turn it's summoned. If Toon World is on the field. If Toon World on the field is destroyed, destroy this card. While you control Toon World and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, this card can attack your opponent directly. If this card attacks, it's changed to defense position at the end of the battle phase, and its battle position cannot be changed until the end phase of your next turn. Ooh, wow. They revised it. You can't even change it with a card effect now. 2300 attack, 0 defense. Swing big. I guess this card sort of works with Toon Defense when Toon Defense comes out, but I don't think it's even good in Archetype. I'm just going to say it's bad. Next up, Infernal Flame Emperor. Fire Attribute. Level 9. It's so weird seeing level 9. Pyro effect cannot be special summoned. Great start. When this card is tribute summoned, you can banish up to 5 fire monsters from your graveyard, destroy spell and traps on the field equal to the number banished to activate this effect. 2700 attack, 1600 defense. In terms of the structure deck boss monsters, I like this one. I think it's undertuned. I think hitting spell and traps, is this as good as Mobius the Frost Monarch if you're banishing 2 fire monsters? Maybe. But it's more hoops than Mobius, but it is more attack. I think it's just not great. There's a lot of things I'd prefer to tribute summon. I like it though. I like the artwork, I like the idea, I like the theme. Wish it could be special summon, that'd make it a little better. Final card for the video is Ocean Dragon Lord Neodatelus. Water attribute, level 8. Sea Serpent effect. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by tributing 1 Levia Dragon Daedalus. You can send Umi you control to the graveyard and send all cards in both players' hands and on the field to the graveyard except this card. 2900 attack, 1600 defense. Effect is really strong. This card wipes both players' hands and remains on the field. And then you just attack directly, I guess. That's a pretty decent payoff. But you need Umi on the field, and you needed to get out Levia Dragon Daedalus. And Levia Dragon Daedalus on its own does most of this work, more or less. It wipes the field, but keeps itself, and you can get it out with only 1 tribute if you have a Legendary Ocean. I think that this card is pretty much the same problem as Red Eye's Darkness Dragon and Vampire Genesis. Imagine a good version of this in Umi Stun. We need a retrain of Neodatelus. Make it Neodatelus. I don't know. I think it's just too many hoops. I'm sort of glad this card isn't better than it is, though. Because, man, it would be dirty if you're just in a position where you can wipe out your opponent's hand. But I think... Why are you not letting me save? Do you need a description? Okay. Someone mentioned that I should make sure that I save at the end of the stream. So, there you go. When is the next stream? Hopefully next week. I'd like to see it come out Thursday. I tried for Thursday this week, but I encountered streaming problems and a lot of issues. But that's the list. I'm excited because next time is the Lost Millennium. This is not the last set in GOAT format, because the Lost Millennium is included and a few other cards are. But this is the last set for the Dual Monsters era. Coming up next, we get Elemental Heroes and a whole bunch of other fun things. It's a whole new game. Arguably. What really makes it a whole new game is Cyber Dragon and Cybernetic Revolution, but we'll get there when we get there. Hopefully in 10 years from now, you'll rank cards from Legacy of the Valiant just for me to make a 10-plus line comment about how Rank Up Magic the 7th one is a design inconsistency. I like rank up the 7th one. It's my favorite rank up. Let me think about that. It might be my favorite rank up. I think it's just a fun card to pull off when you draw it. It's exciting. 10 years before I get to Legacy of the Valiant? I don't know about that. Hopefully if I can pull off a stream a week for the next few weeks, it will get there sooner. Rank up spell tier list next? Maybe. I thought about doing archetype tier list as we go through the game, but the problem with that is we don't really have archetypes yet. I mean, Dark Magician is a functional deck, Amazonas exist, Gravekeepers are a rogue deck at this point that you could play if you want to. But that's it. We're just not at the archetype part of the game yet. Arguably, we don't get there until Gladiator Beasts and Lightsworns, so that's pretty much the entire GX era before we get to archetype tier list. But I think that'd be cool at the end of the stream. Maybe in the future. Okay, but for now, signing off. The issue with that card is that Konami was very afraid of the card being broken if they had the anime effect, so they make it that you need to roleplay like a Barian. Yeah, I'm signing off for tonight. Hope everyone sleeps well. Hopefully, get next stream Thursday.